Hey there, friends and family at Joy to the World. This is Joy here, ready to take an intuitive peek into your Freaky Friday. I'm like, this is going to be the Friday read. What do you want? And you're like, we want it to be freaky. So I got some freaky deaky decks out here. We'll see how it ends up going. I don't even know. I hadn't peeked. I haven't even begun to look to find the energy. I'm like, we're just going to step off into this thing together. Let's be a freak show, okay? So, I'm going to start with an angel lyrium. Let's get a crowning energy, a guide in here to help us. We have a volunteer. Look at this. Straight up, like, I am here. I will be the leader. This is kind of coming in like a Moses energy. Ooh, like a power. What is that? Like the giant. Oh, Thor's. That's Gabriel, left hand judgment. Judgment. Thor. Thor and the hammer, the might. So Thors are those giant electric bodies that stand along the interstates and on the country private pathways. They're huge. I don't know how many, 100, 150 feet tall, but they're massive. And that's what this electric energy is moving through there, and it's talking about mobility. You're talking about mobility, and that mobility of that electric connection could also have to do with communication, right? Connectivity. But being able to be empowered. And it's like, I love it. You're kind of like a death rider here. And you ain't afraid of it. You're like, I straight up am wanting to get up into some Plutonian energy, those type of things going on. Some very Mars, some Martian energy. So since we're talking Mars, let's get on these guys, okay? Antique Anatomy Tarot. They know what's up. These are together, that's for sure. So first we have the Nine of Blades looking at, you've been dodging bullets for a minute, friend. But you've got one thing going in your favor, and that's you're resilient. You choose to see life in everything. You've made a choice. You've made a choice that bar none, no matter what has been handed to you, it may be rocky, you may tremble, you may cuss it and fight it for a minute, but you have guaranteed yourself you won't quit. You're not a quitter, and you're going to rise up. All right. And then over on this other shoulder of Gabriel, it's coming through. I think you need to know that there. Is giving yourself permission to acknowledge that you're a badass, that is like one of your superpowers. Okay, friend? That is one of your superpowers, is you won't quit. And there's more that when you hear that, I see more of yourself showing up on point, affording yourself. You're like saying, instead of giving yourself the advantage after things are dead dog over and done, to give yourself advantage in the midst, in the living, in the loving. And giving yourself advantage is not synonymous with taking advantage. Okay? So giving yourself advantage is just like utilizing and using yourself. If you aren't using yourself, you're going to be abusing yourself. If you aren't utilizing all the facets of your glory and who you are and your electric, magnificent might, power, and your action-oriented self, the ideas that you have and taking action on them, they're going to be implored to someone else's service, and someone else is going to be taking advantage of them, and then you feel desolate, desecrated, and left out. And that's what Gabriel. So I was like, oh, yeah, Gabriel is excited. Like the fire he's breathing isn't like a dragon, it is a sigh of relief and excitement at the same time. Like saying that was a breath of fresh air, but he is like, that is a breath well spent that needed to be heard. Okay, so on the other shoulder, we have a twin power coming in, maybe a little Gemini. Check out some of your Gemini placements there. Gemini has a lot to do with our touch of humanity, about the intellect and the heart coming together, unifying, synergizing almost alongside Cancer. Very much taking action. So don't underestimate the power of Gemini. All right, so here on this shoulder, we have coming in together. It's almost like the devil is the steed that you're riding, and the Knight of Rods is who is upon it. So it's like you're riding this energy coming on in. You're riding this devil. But it has a lot to do with 15. So you're choosing. Okay, I love that this is here right afterwards. Sorry, y'all. A little tight over here. That's your crowning glory. You decide to almost make a t-shirt, a hallmark out of being able to resurrect, to overcome, to not quit. But you're telling yourself here, don't let that be your full identity. All right, this is what you do. This is one of your powers, but is not your who. That is what you're very clear about here. So they're saying let's separate your do from your who. Okay? And so we need to take another look at what this is uprising intelligence and manifestation ability of like manifesting the concept and ideas of reframing them and reformulating them to where they're applicable for others. It's almost like when they make medicine or a homeopathic, if you're familiar with homeopathics, they take that poison, that plant or whatever in its normal portions that would kill or maim or cause destruction or those type of things, and they make it infinitesimal. So it's kind of like a vaccination. Your body takes it in a way that it won't harm you, but it creates an imprint and a memory in order to afford you the resilience, the health, and the strength to fend and to fight off this energy so that you don't have to keep not being a quitter and being resilient, meaning letting people trample on you, trample on you, trample on you. And this is like Gabriel is like hills to the yes. Tell him that is not what I'm here for. He's saying, I am here to empower you to create this magnificent communication and connection with life itself. Life is beautiful, is what Gabriel is saying here. And I love this Knight of Rods. Is like, what's there left to say? I got to pause it. I'll be back with you guys. All right, we are back. And so Gabriel is here to empower you, to empower us, to not just have to continue in that resiliency, which is where I found a lot of spirituality has been for so long, is like, be stepped on and forgive, be the bigger person, do the growth. But they've talked very much about getting out of that seesaw energy of the abused or the abuser, the cheater, the one being cheated on, or in this case, always having to resurrect and be resilient, to not quit, meaning the forces are harder against you. So you're always having to grow through a pressurized situation. That's what this devil is coming about going, hey, 11. It's smiling. It's like, happy birthday. It's a whole new you, a whole new way. Surprise. The devil's like, you're so much smarter than that. You're capable. You're well able. And look at the beauty along the way and along the journey, and enjoy your life. Life is here for you to enjoy, to be a part of, not to be left out or to be utilized just as a tool or this spiritual entity to do the ascension and the growth in order to help others. They're like, you're here to live, to enjoy your own life, and to get on board with this thing. What is that thing? What thing? Why'd you leave me hanging like that? What thing? What thing are we getting on board with? I see them right here. Okay. So this Knight of Rods, what are we? A whole story? That's what we're getting on board with? A whole spiel, because that's how it came out. It's like a running a race. You're going there. Interesting. They're all sidelined, so we got a little bit of work to do. We're going to bring these up. It's like things that you've been putting on hold for quite a while. They're like buried down the ground. Swept under the rug, put in the grave, that type of thing. And they're needing to rise up here is what we're going to find out. So that means we need one more card over here. Who do we need? I'm going to get a face down. So where do you want to go from? No, we're going to take the bottom. All right, we're going to take the bottom. I will keep it face down, though. Okay, so let's jump in with this Knight of Rods. And under it is coming in the Empress. Tasting and seeing that your life is delicious, it's beautiful, it's good. The Empress is here for her own reward and beauty and abundance, not just the cornucopia life for everyone else. I mean, that's the thing. When you think about the qualities of the earth, if you've ever read The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein, it's about this boy and his tree. And he first, as a child, loved the tree and spent time with the tree and had a relationship with it, swinging from its branches, eating its apples, and after a while, he carved his loved one's name in the tree. And then he wanted to take some branches for a fire or to build a boat or things like that, and began to see the earth as something to be used and not given back to. That's like That's like a blinding ignorance there. It's like being blindfolded when you have eyes to see that you could know better than do better. And what you're needing to know here is this power and this beauty, this strength, and they're talking about the resource, like the electricity flowing through the plug, through the cord, irregardless of what is matched to, like here, that not quitting is like a lamp. So that's what that power is being afforded to. They're talking about the raw power, not the lamp, not the not quitting. They're talking about the raw power, and that energy could be used so much more wisely for fecundity and for abundance and virility, and like this nourishment of life, the feeding of yourself as well as the world around you. Okay, it can't just be stripped. Like honeybees, people who keep them, a lot of the sickness is not just the poisons, it is the pillaging of their resource, that here they're producing for themselves. They're making their own resource, their own honey. And then some beekeepers, I don't know all, but some have a practice of taking all the honey out of the hive and then just putting in sugar water. Well, if that's what bees thrived on, bees would be making sugar water and not honey, correct? Okay, so life has this way of taking care of itself, and that's what you need to let float on in here. Instead of surrounding yourself and submitting to this way that your energy had operated for so long, simply because of the way you were raised in the environment and how you grew up, and not just the people who raised you. We're talking about the world state, the world status at the time, and how it was flowing and operating. Instead, allowing it to see that life is abundant, that life is beautiful and giving and for us. And if life is for us, what could be against us? And if nothing is against us, why would we need to take too much or give back too little, or have that kind of like a knuckling brawl going on that makes you have to dig in and not quit? When the devil's like, that's right, it's your birthday, happy surprise, you know better, enjoy the journey, enjoy this expression of this life that you've been given. And since you chatting up and smiling here, you pretty devil, we're going to bring in the Seven of Cups, but this is you hanging your head. Ooh, interesting when I see it like that. It's you minding your mind, getting wrapped up in your mind. That's what's been happening, but it's almost like this, the devil speaking to you so bluntly is kind of shaking the ashes from your face is what you're talking about. Okay, so it was a penitent energy of having to be repentant for having gone the wrong way. You know, it's the devil is not here for that. It's like, don't even waste time on that. Repentance is not like, oh, let me be heavy. Let me show how forlorn, how sorrowful. The word repent simply means to turn around, to change directions. And remember, when you know better, you do better. So we're just going ahead and we're turning this straight up, getting it on point here, that there doesn't have to be that going through all those cups and all those bowls and all those mentalities of trying to figure things out or understand it. Simply being afforded this insight, this wisdom, this knowledge, and this intuition coming out here allows you a new perspective. And especially when you join it with some reflection with your guides and your spirit, it marries it, merges it together, as opposed to this knuckling brawl we had going on here. And it creates this harmony. It creates this layering effect, like the journeying, like what the devil was talking about here, enjoying the journey, the stepwise process. And it's really just the traveling about life, putting one foot in front of the other and seeing how it goes, and not like question mark, seeing how it goes. It literally is going forward and seeing it, how it goes. And Gabriel's like, straight up, give them the skinny joy, let them know what their raw power, what this magic is for. So with that, Gabriel, we are going to call out your card. Let me make a little room here, everybody. Glad to have you joining me. So under Gabriel, O is a trump card. We have the Ace of Cups. So you've been bitten by that one too many times. You're immune to it now. But that also doesn't mean you have to practice it anymore, okay? You're able to turn it into that facet that is applicable because you now understand the minds and the musings of humankind, because you've been through it. You've been there. You've known what it was like to be blinded by that ignorance of our world, of the limitedness of our own insight and intuition, as opposed to being connected to divine intelligence, and then marrying that up with our instinct and our intimacy, and allowing the energy, that dynamic raw power, to move through us. I love Gabriel. Gabriel's like, I love your speech, Gabriel. This is so very exciting. And you're like, I'm a shower, I'm a doer. That is my communication. My action is my communication. Very Mars. I love it. I absolutely love it, Gabriel. And so, of course, with judgment doesn't mean judging others or condemning others or relegating things to this category or that. Judgment is simply that clarity, that understanding that we gained here with the Empress of not just the who, the what, the do, right, but the who. Not just the do, but the who. And taking that, and these two cards coming together, you know, getting over that old mind almost produces this card. Can you see it? Like that moon goes down to your belly and it becomes a star seed. Like in this card, it often shows up as the Milky Way moving through your belly, bringing forth the divining of creation that you came with. Like women come with eggs in their ovaries. We all come with this divine cosmic egg in our belly, but it is the egg of eggs. So it has all these orbs and stars and releasing power inside of it. And now you're able to provide guidance and direction of where people's power comes from and where it belongs. How to begin to activate it and plug in that pole. Because as you can see here, this entity has both masculine and feminine parts. Do you see what I mean? And it's the opening. This is almost like what exists between the poles of Gemini in that chasm. We were talking about that, weren't we? But it's being able to move the plasma, the ripples of the water, and change the divine intelligence programming or the generational curse or aka blessing going on over our world right now. If we're ignorant, it will be a curse, and we will have to hang our head and play into that moon-mindedness. That when they say somebody had, they were mentally attacked, it was called being moonstruck. So when we're staying in this layer of mental attack, whether that's, we can call it mental health, but it's so much more. It goes into spirituality. It's more than just the body. It's the mental health of the body, the mental health of the mind, and the mental health of the soul. It's all of it going on. So it needs to be addressed on all levels, and that is what this card is that synergizing fullness, full permission of all the channels to work together. And that's why this devil was like, happy birthday, and smiling, saying in a sense, you don't know who you are, do you? You don't know what you were born for, do you? It's like a whole new self coming forward, because your purpose and your meaning are merging. And when they're merging, it's becoming this own thing, this perfect balance, this perfect complement, this whole being along with Gabriel, right? This balanced judgment. So underneath the blades, remember that it was, even though it was that you don't quit, it was really more of an essence of compromise, of allowing yourself to be dumbed down, to go through that cycle over and over and over again, thinking there was a lesson you needed to learn, instead of realizing that ignorance needed to be unveiled so that you could have the ability to see. Okay, the ignorance of the generation, right, of not knowing the murmurings that were going on that we grew up under, not just the people around us who spoke, but anywhere from advertisement to journalism to politics to whatever else. Okay, so under that, I love it, this glorious being coming in like death, and you may not see it yet, but the wild thing is her hair is like her breath. Her mouth is wanting to open. Its mouth is wanting to open and just like a hoary breath, like in a blink, freeze everything to the core, okay, to rupture all the cells of that way of beingness so that it is forever changed, okay? Take a blueberry and put it in the freezer, or take, milk and put it in the freezer, cream, put it in the freezer. It's going to break, it's going to rupture, it's going to burst. And those bonds, those connections cannot return to their previous form. It will still be called a blueberry. It will still be called a milk, but its properties are not that of something that was once fresh, okay? So this is going to become old to you quickly, and it's going to become something of the past through all those cellular levels, remember, that we were talking about here, to bring this fully about, all right? So it will meld that energy to bring you into wholeness and bring the balance of catching your divinity up with your destiny and getting them in the same house. All right. I got to keep it that way. Well, can I turn you and then we'll do that? Okay, let's do that. We're going to trust it. The Knight of Cups. Too much has been paid for this. And that doesn't mean, oh, bad, too much. It means when we say life is on the line, life is fully invested in you. Life is like, I have come for more than you to just be the one who enables other people to keep quitting. Because when you're not the quitter, other people can just keep leveraging whatever that force is, the lesson, right? The lesson can continue to be learned over and over and over again, browbeating you, right? Browbeating and repentance. Okay, some of you, and remember the Hierophant went to show up, some of you have this hierarchy of dogmatic religious structure, like zealots, that type of thing of if you this, then all that. This repercussion type energy, conditional type love, boxed in, hemmed in, idealistic of other people's opinions of who you are and how you're formed. I love it. This beautiful being, this manifest being, we'll call this God here because it's both male and female, blew its breath on you and destroyed that. Destroy that. Says, oh, I have nothing to do with that. I love it. So that's what's been paid, is so that you can rise up. This is who you are. The lotus comes up from the depth. That's where you are and how you're made. And I see that egg has opened now. That egg of eggs, remember? And out is flowing the yolk. The yolk is what feeds the creature, the creation. So no longer is it blood that is just feeding you. You're showing me here it's plasma. It's the full, the whole component of it all. We need it all in order to thrive. Okay, the Trinity. You're talking about the Trinity. So up above that, that brings in the 9 of elixirs. And they're like, no, 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 no. It says NO for number, right? All right, so we got a little snag here, which is why it was face down, because literally you're saying no, 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 no. And it's almost like, well, it's not. I see it. Love has conditions for you. So you're fighting true love. You're fighting real love. You're fighting this. You're resisting it, okay? And we're just making a mental awareness of it, because remember, God here, this breath, this union has blown its breath onto the blades, this old way, this old self, in order to rupture it, okay, and to render it out so that it can't go back the way it came, okay? So here, what we're looking at is the energies that are wanting to come in. Your wishes, your dreams, right? We talked about those stars. We talked about these things coming in. Bliss, full unhappiness. Bliss is like when you see a child gleaming, like it's coming up out of their cells, where before it was that knuckling down, that blood, sweat, and tears was coming out, where now is bliss, is the radiance of the sun, the dew of the heavens coming out through your very pores, your eyes, your skin, your breath, everything, your beingness is what they're talking about here. And of course, we got what? We got the joy elixir showing up here, married to the love potion. That is right. And that is what Joy to the World is here for. This channel is about, is you coming into this fullness of yourself, that you can move and navigate through life with this freedom that Gabriel is affording us, right? Of our massive power of action in order to bless and be blessed, to live in this Empress energy and to be the pinnacle, the Ace of Cups. Because this love, it triumphs over all. And when love triumphs, joy ushers in. Joy is like, so they were telling me this morning about love being the collective vibration, but joy is the individuation. Okay, so joy. Okay, I am back. So I talked about love being the collectiveness of that energy and joy being the individuation. Because what sparks each other's joy is different for each person, but love is the common force. It is that goo, that plasma, this thing coming through here. And it's contained in all of it. That's what's wanting to come in, is your full force of love, not conditional love, because conditional love is packaged. It's contained, right? It's caught up in that type of energy of what you're going through here, when really it looks like all the rest of this. Let life love you for who you are, right, friend? You are fantastic and you're magnificent when you begin to embrace that wisdom of the one who crafted it all, coming all together in this divine power and this energy to deliver you from that old way, that whatever has been going on that is ruptured, that has caused you to not be able to go back and now you have to go forward. It is love, and love is working for your joy and for your benefit. Okay, so is there anything? Yes, I'm going to get one of these to take us out from here. And so I'm wishing you well, hoping your weeks are going by nicely and that you have good friends and that you either have a great family or great family, whatever you need, babe, and that you feeling good about yourself. Okay, there we go. All right. This is letting you know time is on your side. You've been gestating in the dark, and now it's time to come out into the light. You do know who you are. It is like that. You are what is inside that egg of eggs. Can you see it? And it's like a giant dragon's eye, that the light had grown so dim that the pupil is wide open to take it all in. But it's almost like your light, the star, was so far removed that we want to draw it near to you. So I'm going to do that real quick before you go, love. Let's draw near. Let's draw your star into our atmosphere, okay? Let's draw your star into our atmosphere, the golden permission, your divinity and destiny. Harmonizing here looks like what? Come on, speak to me. There you go. It looks like this. Sweet like a strawberry, baby. Love, sweet love. It is that putting it right there. Is that full-on unconditional love. It is love flowing out of you, and it is love returning to you. It is self-love. It is other love. It is so happy and contagious that it looks like this love. Y'all ever wonder why I'm so silly and funny and animated? I gave up my reputation a long time ago. Life has been in charge here because it's not about what I do. It's about the who, and the who is I am a human being, crafted by something magnificent so far beyond myself, and life wants to dance with me and animate itself through me and give me this raw, personal, electric experience. Yes to that. You are the honey. You are the deliciousness of life. So I'm inviting you in, friend. Make sure you leave those comments down below. Do share these with your loved ones, your friends, your family, your whoever's, and let's help get this word out there to the world. Let's change our world today. All right. Love you. Bye.